All right. Hello, folks. Top Gun here with you. Got a good one for you today. Testnet version 2B should be up tomorrow. That was tweeted yesterday. Guess what's kind of half up? It's still taking some time to sync, but that's right. PulseChain Testnet version 2B. You can access it now. So what does that mean? Well, I went into my wallet and I changed the RPC settings to include version 2 V2B for the testnet instead of version V2. I just added a B. And then, the chain ID. Well, testnet version 2, that's 940. That is its chain ID number. So, 2B, what was that? Oh, 941. All right, so just had to change those two settings, and ta-da! I also had to add in a address for the pulseX. Yeah, I had to add in somewhere on Richard Hart's Twitter. I'm still getting used to Twitter, so I can't find it all. But somewhere in the testnet information that's come out, there is a token ID address. That's it, like a contract address, one of those fancy ones, 0x, all that long fun goodness that you can import. And then you can see your pulseX now because there's some updates, but they don't freak, don't panic. They made a mistake with the points, so everyone has like 75% of the pulseX they should. It's a test net. They're figuring out the bugs. That's kind of the point of a test net. So yeah, we will be able to see our full pulseX in our wallets probably on the next version, or on another update if they release more. But for right now, it's a test net. But you can access your pulseX, which means the front end's coming. Now I've been checking, like, why don't I go to pulsechain.net? Because that okay. But I got the 2V and changed that to a B. I changed that to 941. And the rest of this, the block explorer, I assume I'll have to change that up to 2B as well. But all of that good jazz is the settings. I found this on Telegram, so that's on my phone. I don't have it up on my computer. But with the new testnet settings, all right, so eventually we'll be able to access the pulseX interface. We'll be able to do the staking protocol, play with all that jazz, and I will have more information on exactly how one will stake their pulseX, on how one will stake their incentive token, what those two things will actually earn you, whether they earn each other or not, for sure, confirmed. And we'll have some better idea of the play of numbers, what the starting ratios will actually are supposed to look like, and all that good jazz. So I am excited. I am excited very much to see and play with it as we get more information. But for right now, it's still kind of sinking. So it takes several hours to do a few percent. So right now we don't have access to all of it, but testnet is out. There's some of it. You can see your rewards in your mask, and soon we'll be able to do the staking. Yay! So, all right, another testnet, but this does mean more development. So there's other things I want to look at today to give you guys some fun and some hope. Let's take an in-depth look at Hex. All right, so this is going to be a lot of noise here, but I want you guys to look at it all. All right, so just bear with me. Looking at traditional market. So this is Hex as it usually stands. If we switch this to log, I still got all sorts of complicated number or lines all over the place. But if you haven't seen that, Hex has a normal, healthy, long rhythmic growth. That's when it does. So logarithmic growth, hey, when we get out to June of this year, it's usually within this range, 34 cents to $6. Wow. We'll come back and look at that some more. Take it off log. We're looking at this range here. So why do I have all these complicated lines? Well, let's have a look at what they mean. So, I can move that over good. All right. So as as hex grows, it hits these intermediate stages where all that growth before looks like a flat line. But when you look at it logarithmic, which, what does that mean? Factors of 10. So if you look at the math right here where it's 1 plus 2 is 3, 1 plus 3 is 4, 1 plus 4 is 5, it's an addition scale. So it just goes up by adding. So you can't see the levels of adding that happened here, but you can here because all that is shrunken down so low. Oh, but when you zoom in, that's what was happening, and then suddenly it takes off. Like, that's what crypto does. Okay. All right, so looking at this, we flatten that back out. We're in a phase. Now, Hex has a habit when you're looking at log, but we can look at it this way, that during these phases till it takes off again to the point where we need to zoom this flat. For right now, there's a center line of Hex that runs through. And that is pretty much we're either above it or below it, and we're about to cycle through and go way above it. That's still a process that's going to take some time. Like this is holding out on the 19th of May when we get up to here, when I'm drawing an arc like this. So the center line cuts through. That's great. Then there's the top line of resistance, the bottom line of support. Okay. Then these lines here are new lines of resistance caused by the all-time high. So when we start to look at it, the green line is our center line that we go above or below, and we've spent a lot of time below it. A lot of time below it. And now, previously, as we cross lines of, like as we created a bull flag, then we start coming down. We have now created our first line of resistance that we're not making it over. And since we can't make it over, everyone loses faith and they drop lower. And it creates new lines of resistance. So eventually, it's all lows. We have this first line of resistance where, hey, we have to beat this line right here. This one. You know, we have to beat that. And then once we do, oh, we've set a new line. But for the distribution, that one we called it a false start. It started falling down again. And then we broke it again. Once we broke the line, like I had a different color, like these oranges and stuff for resistance. Once we break that, well, goodbye. Don't need it anymore. It just shows us the kind of range of the pattern it goes up. And we break another line, long standing of resistance. We still have that main first one we never broke, but we have new ones. Once we break that, you can see, oh, we jump up. Well, we can get rid of that line. Okay, we jumped up. And at this point, the support line only came down to here. This big, nice red one here that's dim. Let's make that giant. Okay, yeah, it used to run up here. I had to keep moving it down, like, because we kept breaking it going down while we're being funneled by these into bull flags. And you can see the lines. And it has to choose this because it gets to a tip of a bull flag, down or up. But, hey, we finally chose up. We broke this line of resistance. Very long standing since that peak. That lasted us, oh my, over a month. Well, we broke that. Goodbye. It's useless. Now we had this main line of resistance kind of, that once we broke right here, you can see that little line. That's kind of in its way. Once we broke that, we've never even come close to touch that. So you can almost think of that as a support now in our down channel. The trend is your friend until the end. There's still all this mess here. Getting rid of things, but this one we're going to hang on to just because, hey, it's here. And at this point, we still see now this orange one represents the long term of resistance, which we aren't close to breaking. So, all right, we have all that. Let's zoom in a little further. Oh, zoom in a little further. And you can kind of really see the daily volume trading. Now, still, this is a lot of noise in here. So let's make it a little dimmer, a little easier to see, a little easier to deal with. The support line. Oh wow, that got wrecked. That got wrecked. So really, that's down here now. And we don't need that so big. All right, that's a little line that can always move. It's ideally, hopefully, eventually our bottom, and we'll bounce off and we'll be good. So we're zooming in a little further here, getting a little bit of a better image. Probably bored you right out of this video by now. As you can see, the same deal as before. lines we've had to cross and deal with. So you can see they're kind of spacing. And why I'm like, all right, there's kind of usually full segments of a pie that get figured out as this happens. So this line, beaten, goodbye. This line, oh yeah, we kicked that to the curb and we're heading way away from it. So it's not even useful as a support line. Goodbye, don't need it. Now we're getting a little cleaner. We see this hump here created a long-term line of resistance, and we finally tested along it. That's why it's important. We just kept going down, even that's what traders are looking at, until we broke free. That's usually where we start to see run-ups. So this should become the new line of support. That means even this one is useless. Goodbye. Because now that we've broken into this, this should start to become our long-term trend of support. Hopefully, it'll become useless soon. We'll turn this one red, and we'll make it go dim. We've crossed it. It's over. It's done with. So now, this line. Your trend is your friend till the end. Let's make it big. All right, what's going on here? This is the current trend of support. We have not dropped below this line. All right, so in here we haven't dropped along that. We're doing a little bounce, and hopefully this becomes our new line of support, and we will start going up. Because, all right, so this line here, this green one. The reason I had this, you know what? I'm not even sure. Let's get rid of that resistance. I don't even see why it's there for. It's just making more noise on the chart. So right now, yeah, we've crossed this line of resistance. Hopefully it'll act as a line of support. I'll give it a little bit of importance through that, make it a little brighter. So we've got this long support, these supports. Hopefully we're about to start Ewing out of this. Now this long line of support, this one's our important one right now. We'll even take that all the way up to 4. Again, this one, drop it down to 2, kind of painting a picture. Now, at this peak, there's a flat line of resistance of our all-time high that we've created. From the uptrend, the middle line, there's a line of resistance here. So we have to break these to actually get out and start flowing free. These are 3 major lines of resistance. As you can see, we finally broke this one. So we've got a few more tests. The next one, this trend has created an up and down channel that we'll have to break out of. Then cross this one, which we could do by moving straight with the price for all the way into May. But I don't believe that's going to happen. You start to look at the MACD and the RSI, these things. This is the MACD. The price is moving average versus the cost, like the sale and buy price. And then they circle around this price. So when you've got the red impressions, that means that it's selling more than being bought, which the RSI kind of shows in another way. But with the MACD, when you've got the red impressions, it shows the gap between the two forming. And the green impressions shows, oh, wow, like this is a good value. Things are going the right direction when you've got green, bad direction when you've got red. Okay, that's kind of simple. So as you can see, we're curling back up into the green. And as it goes up, like, all right, this is not a lead indicator, it's a trail indicator, but it shows buying is heading the right direction. And it's starting to go up. It's been going the wrong direction for a while. That agitates the market. Sometimes it'll break out just against these conditions. The RSI was highly oversold, and then it didn't quite get overbought, and it's been circulating in the middle, and it could still easily complete a cycle to overbought and start breaking up. People could start investing in because, oh, Ethereum's been doing good, Bitcoin's doing good. We finally got to 42,000. We've been seeing some positive growth in the market this weekend. So is there room for it to do funny things and start drawing itself up? Or let's delete that. But could it go up to this and then test this line of resistance and then break it? And then test this line, go up, and then come down, test it for support, and then start going up. And then, oh, down, we didn't like that. And then, oh, I mean, the market does funny things, little bullet flags, and then go up and test it again, and then again, and then, we're up, and we have beaten the all-time high, and we're starting to get off to the races. Look, that's in May. Like, it's not guaranteed this is going to happen. Like, I can't see the future, but right now, looking at all this jazz, we zoom out a little bit. We've cleaned up this chart. I gotta take the draw function off. We've cleaned up this chart a lot. There's a lot less noise going on. We should also get rid of that. So, okay, these are the channels, the current trend we have to break out of. The next line of resistance, the big fat one, the important one that's been long standing ever since our all-time high. Once we break that, we'll have to break the all-time high. That might take a while. Who knows? Then our midline. Once we get over our midline, oh, that is when the action really will happen. And you won't believe it. You won't believe it. So what's going on now? Hex likes to repeat itself. So I've mentioned the Fibonacci sequence a lot of times so far through my videos. I only have 8 videos, but I've mentioned it at least 3 or 4 times. You've stuck with me 16 minutes. So here we go. We're going to start looking at why is the Fibonacci sequence interesting? Why do people use it? All right. Am I using it right? I don't know. I'm new to TradeView. Okay? This is my interpretation of it, how I'm following it. So we'll zoom in a little bit. And we do the fib retracement. So, this one. Now, here's our all-time high. And crypto usually drops 90% from all-time highs. Okay, we know that. So if we project a full drop, like, okay, we're 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents, 5, 4, all-time high 51. Let's take that back down, 5, 1. All right, that's a full 90% drop. So that's like the maximum cryptos do. So again, we'll set that to the right price. 5, 1. Oh yeah, I have to click it in. Okay. So now we see a fib retracement with all of this noise. So what are we going to do here? I'm going to have some fun. Okay. Fun with the fib. The numbers of nature. So the fib chart, nature always reproduces itself in cycles, curls, spirals, galaxy. It's all expressed through Fibonacci. So when the market's not being tampered with by whales, it tends to go through repeat of patterns. And if we do this fib retracement on old patterns, we'll see some interesting things. So the fib retracement all by itself shows us we are in the red zone in that very bottom of a market correction. And it's not going to go any lower than 90%. Like, we have already probably hit the bottom of the price, and all we have is back up to go at this point for adoption. Now, in this, that's the fib tool. I want to take a retracement fractal. So I think I want this now. So here we have a full market drop, and then oops, this thing, delete that. That's not what I was looking for. I'll pause this while I find it. All right, I think I found it. Bars retracement. So this will help if I zoom in a little bit, won't it? Yeah, well, folks. Oops. Delete. All right, so for the retracement, I'll zoom in. Thank you for bearing with me. All right. So we want to look at top of that as a crash all the way to, we'll go all the way to the top of that. There. We've got our retracement, because notice the W, then notice the run up. Like this, you can repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. It changes just a little bit from time to time, but for the most part, it stays pretty much dead on. So, okay. So how are we going to use this thing? Well, we're going to have some fun with it. We're to stretch it out. Okay, so we're going to match it to this using the fib retracement. Okay. So that doesn't go low enough. Oh, wait. Alright, so this is where Hex has done Hex has done something interesting, and the W has gotten much further out to scale than one would normally think. Because, like, the W seemed to happen here, and usually it corrects quickly, but corrections happen, so the bottoming out has happened. The W basically has formed. You see the retracements start to go up. Wait a minute, how much are we actually paying attention to these dollar amounts? So if we got to the bottom of the red line, the next retracement could take us all the way up. This is why people talk $1.60 to $1.80, because what we went down in that fib line, this line right down here, you can't see. I mean, we're zoomed out, but this is where our all-time high was, this line. And this is our middle line. And as we approach our all-time high in the middle line, we're going to break out and complete a Fibonacci run before we start correcting back again. So for us to see somewhere between $1.50 to $2 by the time we're looking at October, the end of the year, is not outrageous, which is why even with splitting the value between PHEX and EHEX, between the two pairs, being over $1 each is not out of the question by Christmas. So yeah, there's room for Hex to expand. Testnet version 2 is out, or 2B is out, which means 3 is very close, which means mainnet is very close, and I keep saying April 11th would really work well for my schedule. Now, at this point, I usually start with this, but I'll remind everyone, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment. I do moon math. I'm a college dropout. I just found out really what crypto was 4 months ago, and I've been rambling. You're probably asleep or your head exploded. But if you made it at the end of the morning, yay. I do have Telegram. This is not a school for you guys. This is a school for me to keep learning more. And I have a Twitter. All right. So with that, thank you for sticking in for one of my videos on Hex for, wow, almost 25 minutes, explaining all the fun facts of resistance and some of the art with fib retracements. So this is a fractal retracement, trying to show some of the previous history. Again, that one's not so much fun. You just take the run up, like wherever you think the end is, do the fractal retracement of the run up, and then tag it on and go. But we've had a very long bottom of our W. The slingshot is coming. It is happening. Prices are going up. So, I'll zoom in. Let's get rid of the noise. So the Fibonacci, again, let's delete the Fibonacci. Goodbye, Fibonacci. Zooming in. Haha, it's not the end of the video. Psych. So talking about the breaking out. This is where, okay, we really zoom in. Well, maybe instead of really zoom in, I should go over here. Hardy har har. So as you can see, sometimes the bull flag, and then it's going to go up or go down. It goes down. The trend is your friend to the end until it changes. Doing all this mapping, useless. Market far too volatile. And I'm sitting there going, oh, hardy har, I just drew that and it's done. Like, sometimes I'm trying to figure out, is it coming to the end of a trend? So let's take some new analysis. All right, right here we can see several points which are now the bottoms. So a new trend is developing. All right, so what's happening? We are coming to retest this new trend. If we break it, we will retest this as support. If we bounce off this, we will be testing new resistance. What's the new current resistance? That's the new current resistance there. Also, what other resistance is generating? Well, we have a high here, and we have a high there. Now we're starting to see a bull flag. So to really get these colors going, because for some reason green and red seems to do it for the traders, make these lines of resistance green and lines of support red. So we got to break these two lines, or we end up going back to deal with these. So in this right now, go to the fancy draw tool again. We're coming down to bounce and retest this. If we go back up, we have to retest this. So the bull flag, will it go up or will it go down? We have two choices. If it chooses down, we're going to see the pain link we had before as it goes all the way down to test this. We'll have to see if we bounce off it or break. Okay. So that's what happens in that case. But maybe, just maybe, it goes up. Delete. So just maybe, because I've been seeing a lot of this little up pressure building, our conditions are changing, it pops up, but it has to test this line. Now it's stuck following this bull flag, and it has to choose up or choose down. So if we start looking at this pattern, all right, down, this will be our new support. And we're going like this through here to find a new bull flag. Okay. Back to select. All right. So I'm seeing a lot of potential for up where we are heading to test these lines very soon. And I think this line of support is likely to continue and be our actual bull flag that we're more likely to test, where we'll have an up or down choice. You know, the trend is your friend to the end. So I really think that this will be the end of our trend here, and I do think it'll choose up. So we will see. We will see what's going on, but this is the excitement I have that we've broken this long-term standing line, and so we now have some new channels of line and resistance. The trend is always your friend until the end, and then it'll pick up or pick down. And the best way to know if it's picking up or down is these signals. So at the end of a bull flag, when it's at the end and it's like it has to choose up or down, man, if it's oversold, if the RSI is down here, the MACD is down here when it's the end of the bull flag, the market's asking any buyers, any buyers, any buyers. One seller will tip it down out of the bull flag, but any buyers will tip it flying up. And it's already been asking for any buyers for a while. If it's on the up and it's overbought and oversold, everyone's getting agitated. And I mean, like, this is where the if you're in a bear market or a bull market, these trends, whether the MACD is up or the RSI is up or RSI is, those will flip. Like, and it's just, you're trying to figure out if you're in a bear market or bull market with everything that's going on. Keep switching a lot in crypto. So that's where a lot of this TA, you can't really make your buying and selling decisions off this. I won't day trade. But if you bought into Hex and you're bored and you're looking at the price, really agitated, this is the hope. You're like, we're going up. This is all building. Even if we go down and test this, we're going up. So as we look at the long term, all right, now we see the next line that we're about to break. And then if this holds true, like all of a sudden we're in an up run, it won't take that long to break these. We'll just be a month in and we'll be testing the 34-cent high again. And then maybe 6 weeks testing the 50-cent high. Wouldn't that be amazing? And if we can break that, we'll go up very, very quickly. So I wanted to share some hope about Testnet coming out, the fact that PulseX is a price generating machine, and that anything that's attached to in liquidity will go up in price. So Hex, will it be priced in PulseX? Most likely. And will there be EHEX, PHEX pairs? Yeah. And when that exists, when price of PX or PulseX goes up, price of Hex will go up. So we'll now have an asset generator that props the price of Hex up, that is going to keep skyrocketing it, because it's going to siphon some value off PulseX. It's going to be really cool to see. And after it launches, everyone will be going, oh my God, I wish I bought during the dip. And I will be laughing going, I bought all through the dip. So Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Hope you folks have a great night.